The tally is in. So the vote was 76 to 24%. We are making pad thai. To get started on this recipe, I'm going to actually set a stopwatch. That way you guys can see in real time how long this whole process is taking me from start to finish. What? Because I feel like I'm always telling you guys this is a quick and easy recipe, but now I'm going to actually show you exactly how long it takes me to make this recipe. The only part that I've actually already done is I just kind of prepared myself, which you should do anytime you're making a recipe. So I will link the full recipe in the description of this video. But I cannot promise you it's going to be exact to the T, because as I was writing this stuff down, I'm kind of just getting general ideas of how much I usually use, but I don't follow a recipe. So I can't tell you that it's going to be perfect. You'll have to taste and kind of see. So anyway, I went ahead and wrote down my ingredients and whatever and kind of ran through in my head the process that I'm going to be showing to you guys today. And I highly recommend you doing this as well before you start cooking. If you're going to make this recipe, watch the video a few times. Go ahead and you can screenshot in the description below, you can screenshot the recipe to include the ingredients. Make sure you have everything out and ready before you start. That way you don't get in the middle of it and you get overwhelmed. Like, you're gonna get overwhelmed with cooking. One, if you don't do it that often, but also if you don't prepare. The most important part to being successful in the kitchen is preparation. So, with that being said, the first step that I'm going to do to this recipe is I'm going to press my tofu. The tofu that I'm using today is just firm tofu. I'm going to press this by simply draining the juice and wrapping it in a bread towel and putting a cast iron pan on top of it. Starting now. All right, so I really wish I actually had somebody here, because I'm gonna try to do this like slightly live-ish, which is gonna be difficult because I'm using one hand. I'm gonna try to show you each and every step and kind of do it like it's an actual cooking video instead of like editing over everything, since I am trying to do this live to show you exactly how long it's gonna take. So bear with me because I don't have anybody here to record today, or ever. So let's press this tofu. I'm going to grab a clean rag, not my dirty dish rag. This is just a bread towel, and I'm going to simply place it in this, cover it up, and I'm going to set this to the side with a cast iron skillet on top. By pressing it, you're gonna get more of that like chewier texture, more of like the meaty texture, instead of it just being like really soft and mushy. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping my vegetables. So today for this recipe we have carrots, peeler out. So I'm simply going to peel these carrots. Okay, I'm simply just gonna cut the tips off, and then I'm literally just going to grate these. This is to me hold it steady. This is to me gonna be the fastest and easiest way to just get this done so we can move forward with the recipe. No ma'am. You're not putting that on the baby. Okay, it's gonna be really hard to get an accurate time on this recipe because I'm cleaning desiccant off of everything right now. So, hold on, let me just pause my timer. Okay, I'm back. Let's start on the mushrooms. For the mushrooms, you wanna kind of wipe a little bit of the dirt off. Mushrooms usually have like a little bit of dirt on them. You don't wanna rinse mushrooms. Mushrooms they'll like really absorb a lot of the liquid, so you don't wanna wash your mushrooms. So I'm just gonna wipe them off. I'm only honestly wiping them off for the sake of the video. A lot of times I'll actually not even wash them off, especially if it's something that's gonna be cooked for a while. But this is just gonna be sauteed fast, so we're gonna wash them off. I'm popping out the center of them, and I'm gonna keep that in the recipe. I see a lot of people usually like throwing that out, but I don't see the point in throwing this out. I'm throwing them in. I'm just kinda cutting them in half, and I'm saving these for sure. So those are the stalks. And we're just gonna rough chop everything. We're not looking for anything fancy here. I don't think that mushrooms are traditionally in pad thai. I'm just adding them because I'm not putting any kind of meat or anything, so I'm kind of using this and the tofu as my meat substitute. So we now have, this is actually taking longer than I thought. I'm already at 5 minutes, but I did have to stop and change a baby, so. I'm gonna add some bell pepper as well, and I don't think this is traditionally in there either, to be honest, but I'm adding that, and my knife is so dull. So, oh yeah, you know, cooking with Desitin. That's mom life right there. Onion. This is definitely usually in. I think it might be usually green onion though, I don't know. I don't really know what the authentic ingredients would be in pad thai, to be honest, because, you know, I don't know that I've ever had it like super legit. Anyway, I'm just kind of cutting those in half, and then little crescent moon shapes. And I'm cutting them kind of big because I don't want them to be, I don't want them to get soft in my dish. I want them to be like crunchy still, and I'm not gonna cook them long for that reason either. All right, so we have that. I'm going to start a pot of water. So here are all our veggies. Let me quickly start a pot of water for our rice noodles. Rice noodles are on, so I'm gonna finish prepping my veg. The only thing that I have left is the garlic, and I'm using a whole bulb of garlic. So let's see how many pieces. That's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could make this a lot faster by just actually using garlic powder, but I like fresh garlic. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bulbs. I'll smash it and then just kind of pop it out of the skin. And when I say the way I like to do my garlic, that's a very, I say that very loosely because I hate chopping garlic. Like if there's one thing in the kitchen that I really just don't like doing, it's garlic. And it don't like me either. My hands literally always smell like garlic, and I don't know, to me it's just not a fun part of the recipes. I never enjoy peeling garlic. I'm just gonna rough chop this up. Okay, that is the garlic. Now we are going to start on the sauce. So as of right now, we have our veggies prepped. We have the water going for the rice noodles, and I'm getting ready to make the pad thai sauce. This is only gonna take us like maybe 2 minutes to make the sauce, if that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my pan that I'm gonna be sauteing the vegetables in. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the stove and put it on like low to medium heat, so that'll start to warm up as well. Actually only at like 6 minutes right now, so I'm not really worried about time. So I'm going to take a second and clean up my spot. My compost bucket. This is actually just an ice bucket, so it has the lining in it, and it came with like a scoop and everything, and it has a lid. Ooh, it stinks right now for some reason. Pad thai sauce, it's equal parts of sugar and salt. So what I'm gonna be using is soy sauce and maple syrup. You could use soy sauce and brown sugar. You could use soy sauce and palm sugar. I think palm sugar is more traditional. But I am going to do a half a cup of soy sauce. Oh my, this is gonna take a minute. Oh, maybe not. Also, I think fish sauce is actually traditional in pad thai, but I'm making this a vegan recipe, so we're not gonna put fish sauce in it. All right, so a half a cup of soy sauce, and then a half a cup of maple syrup. So this will be a cup total. And then we are going to add rice vinegar. Traditionally in pad thai, it has tamarind paste, I think, yeah, tamarind paste. And I do have that, but I wanted to make this like more accessible for everybody because I want this to be something you actually make. So I'm just going to use rice vinegar. This is a seasoned rice vinegar, so this is a little bit sweet already. So you're gonna have to take this into consideration as well. So when you taste your sauce, just keep that in mind. So I'm going to put, I wrote this down. I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. Oh, that just goes up to 1/4 cup of rice vinegar, okay? And then because we like a little bit of spice and extra flavor, I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of sriracha, okay? And that is our sauce. Let me mix this up. So this is going to be sweet and salty, tangy. It's gonna have a little bit of heat to it. You can obviously bump that heat up. I would prefer it to have more heat, but because I'm making this for the whole family, I can't. But it's gonna taste really salty by itself, so don't freak out. But you definitely want that sweet note too. All right, I think we're done here. Let's move to the stove. Here's all of our stuff. I have it all here working in my prep station. So I have some olive oil. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of olive oil in the pan and saute each one of these individually, and then I'm just gonna put them back on this tray, and the garlic as well. I have my water going over here and my tofu right here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just lightly cook all these vegetables. I really still want them to all have a little bit of a crunch to them. So I'm not gonna cook them for long. And I do have my heat at about 6 to 7, so a medium high heat, because I would like a little bit of some caramelization on the outside without kind of steaming it. So the reason why I'm batch cooking everything is because I don't want to overcrowd my pan and then just get like mushy vegetables. Throw in bits of garlic with the onions and bell pepper. It really doesn't matter when you throw it in. You're not going to be cooking any of these super long. I can't stress to you enough how important it is to not overcook your veggies. You really don't want them to be mushy. So I have my onions and bell peppers and garlic all in together right now. And I'm gonna let them go for maybe 2 minutes, okay? Not long. I really don't want them to get too soft, okay? And remember, they're gonna have heat even when you take them off the stove. So you have to keep that in mind. They are gonna continue to cook. So. All right, my water is now boiling. So I'm going to cook my rice pasta, and literally I'm only gonna cook this, the directions say 1 to 2 minutes. So we're literally gonna go for 1 minute, take it off the heat right away, okay? I'll start the 1 minute timer once they're all in the water. I may have needed a bigger pot for this. Rice noodle fail. Just kidding, it'll be fine. I would recommend just setting a 1 minute timer and cooking them right to that exact minute and then turning them off and draining them, because if you cook them longer than this, they're not gonna be able to absorb the juice the sauce that you made. They're gonna already be so full of the water. These are done. A little bit of caramelization. I know I'm probably making you guys busy, but this is how it has to go. All right, mushrooms are going in the pan next. And I'm not putting oil in the pan for the mushrooms, because mushrooms will literally, if I put oil in the pan, they're just gonna soak up the oil. So I'm just going to dry cook these. I have not adjusted the temperature or anything. I'm leaving it at the same heat. I'm going to strain off my pasta now because it has definitely been a minute. letting these mushrooms go. This is so hard to record, Ann. Okay, let me turn you around. I really need somebody to be recording for me. All right. All right, folks. So, you've seen it here first. I don't know if this is gonna actually work or not, but this is what we're gonna do today. My pasta just came off. It's piping hot. Now, typically what I would do right now is I would rinse this. But what I'm gonna do for ease of preparation and because it's hard to fit all this in a pan to saute it, I'm going to take these noodles. Let me see how al dente they are first. No, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna take these noodles, pop them into a large bowl, and I'm gonna pour some of our dressing on them, okay? Hold on, I'm gonna pour about 3/4 of our sauce on them. I'm hoping in doing this that while they're hot, they're gonna just absorb up this liquid, which will also help cool them down a tiny bit, but not too much. But I'm hoping that in doing this, I don't have to re-saute them with all of my vegetables. I'm hoping. I can't make any guarantees, so if this doesn't work, you'll know here shortly. Also, I really like the idea of not rinsing the pasta because it leaves the starch, and it will kind of like make, because this sauce isn't super thick, and it'll kind of like make it all kind of stick together a little bit more. So, we'll see. It might be a terrible idea, who knows. All right, in the meantime, my mushrooms are going, and I'll show you those. Remember, I did not add any kind of oil or anything, and you see the natural liquids are coming out of them now. I'm just gonna cook them till they're nice and golden, and then add those to the rest. For the tofu, I'm going to cube half of it. I know this sounds kind of weird, but a lot of times, most recipes for pad thai has scrambled egg in it. So just to get that like idea or the same look to the recipe, I'm gonna take like 1/4 of the tofu block and I'm just gonna crumble it in the pan. And then the other 3/4 I'm going to chop into cubes. And it doesn't really matter how you chop them, like this is a preference. I'm gonna make them kind of small because I'm only using 1 pound of tofu and I have a whole pound of pasta, so that's a lot of pasta to tofu ratio. So I'm going to make them kind of small. And when our mushrooms are done, we will saute up our 3/4 cubed tofu and our 1/4 scrambled tofu. All right, the mushrooms are done. And I'm actually gonna just go throw them in the pan with the noodles. Okay. Back to the grind. Up the tofu with this seasoning that I got from Trader Joe's. It's called Multi-Purpose Umami Seasoning Blend. It's like a mushroom powder, so the ingredients are salt, dried onions, mustard seed, porcini mushroom, button mushroom, black pepper. So I'm gonna season up our tofu with this. And I'm gonna add a little bit of turmeric to the scrambled side of the tofu. That way it adds like that little bit of an eggy color. Yum, this smells so good. And by the way, if you use chopsticks while you're doing this, it makes it taste more authentic. A trick that I found, if you just take your chopsticks and just push them, they literally will just flip right over. I think this is why Asian people use tofu or chopsticks when they're cooking. Where's my sauce? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of the sauce here. And I'm gonna add in the rest of my veggies in here. All right, so I'm going to taste these noodles real quick. They definitely need more sauce. And the veggies will add more flavor too, but one of the things I'm noticing is they're really sticking together like too much. Like right here, this is just one bunch. So I'm gonna add, because there's no oil at all in these, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil just to kind of help them not stick. That looks like a lot, but my bottle's almost empty, so. And I'm just gonna kind of break them apart a little bit. They are hot. Whew. Whew. All right, now I'm going to add, that helped a lot. Okay, so now I have a better texture, because that was just a little bit too sticky. Like, pad thai is usually pretty sticky, but that was just too sticky. Also, if you go to a restaurant and you're getting pad thai, I hope you understand that you're eating a crap load of oil. Like, there's a lot of oil, so don't be freaking out about pouring a little bit of olive oil just to keep your noodles from sticking really bad. And if I would have rinsed them, they probably wouldn't have stuck too bad, but I really want them to have like a little bit more chewiness, and I really want them to soak up that juice more. I'm gonna add the rest of the sauce, and I might actually make more sauce too, because I'm thinking maybe the sauce will help a little bit. Okay, let me go get my vegetables. Okay, this is all my veggies and my tofu, and that's hot. It's really hot. Hola. All right. Oh yes, now that's looking good. Oh, and it smells amazing. I'm making this for my family, so I'm using my hands. If you're grossed out by that, then when you make it for your family, use gloves. If you're still grossed out by it, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Oh yeah, this has a great texture. Okay, I'm not having any regrets at all about not sauteing the noodles. This looks amazing. I do think I want to add more sauce though. I might make more sauce. I'm gonna show you guys this in a second. Or actually, I'll take a video and show you. I'm gonna grab my bean sprouts while this is still hot and throw them in. And I don't usually saute them because I want them to be crunchy in here, but these noodles and the vegetables are still pretty hot. Mmm. Yum. Okay. I know you guys have asked for a video on how I do my bean sprouts, and I've said I was gonna do it, but I just haven't done it yet, so please don't hate me. But this batch is almost done. It still has maybe another day or two, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get some out anyway. So these are what my bean sprouts look like. I'm just going to take some of them and add them straight into our pan. So this is what it looks like right now. I'm just gonna mix these bean sprouts in. Oh my God, this looks and smells so good. I think I'm gonna add some more bean sprouts. Oh my gosh, it's hot on the bottom. Whew. Let's add some more bean sprouts. Hey babe. I know, I'm making dinner. I'm recording it.
Oh.
The eater. So I tasted it, and it to me needs a little bit more salt, so I'm gonna add a little bit more soy sauce. And remember, anytime we add the salt, we need to add a little bit more sweet, because it's gonna be equal parts sweet and savory here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more this and that, and go back in for the mix. This, the idea of not sauteing it in the pan actually worked out really well, because I feel like a lot of times people have the tendency to overcook the pasta or the rice noodles, pasta, whatever you want to call it. And so this is the first time I got the exact texture that I even wanted. Okay, let me taste it now. Please don't be grossed out by me right now, but this is what's happening. Mmm. Oh my God, yes. Mmm. Mmm. Okay. It doesn't need anything else. Oh my God. It needs peanuts. It does need peanuts. Mmm. And cilantro. I really like how some of the egg or the tofu looks like egg, and then we have the cubes too. It's cute. All right, let me plate this up so you can see it. Y'all, I don't have peanuts. Just imagine there's peanuts on it, okay? I'm gonna add some fresh cilantro. Fresh cilantro on this is amazing. My camera's about to die. I hope it don't die before I finish this. So some fresh cilantro, and then I'm going to add a little bit more fresh bean sprouts because those other ones got kind of soft. So I'm gonna add some more bean sprouts. Yum. Oh, my final thoughts. Even though it's not traditional in the fact that it doesn't have fish sauce, it doesn't have any kind of meat, I didn't saute the noodles, it's delicious. Also, what else can I say about it here? It probably would be a lot more delicious with peanuts. I did see recipes that actually have peanut butter in the sauce, so I did think about drizzling it on there, but it's just so good right now, I don't wanna mess it up. Another thing I wanted to mention is this is great to bring to cookouts because it doesn't have any meat in it. Excuse me, I just had a beer. I just had a celebratory beer because this is so good. Okay, anyway, so this is great to carry to cookouts or to any kind of like where you need to bring a covered dish because it tastes the best, in my opinion, at room temperature. So when you bring something like this, you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to heat it up, I need to cool it down, I need to whatever. And also it doesn't have any meat in it, so it can actually sit out for quite a while. So I think this is great. It can seem a little bit daunting at first, but it's really not that complicated. And just taste it and see if you need to add stuff. Our total time, and that was 29 minutes and 47 seconds. So that was from start to finish, to include me cleaning up the Desitin mess with my kids and having to like walk around recording it. So you could probably do this in 20 minutes, but I'm not gonna say it's a 20-minute meal because it took 29 minutes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that recipe. Thank you for participating in my Instagram poll. Okay. I might have to do this as my thumbnail right here, ready? Or it could be more like this. Either way, this is delicious. Give it a try, guys.